Close your eyes, if they are not already closed, and let your shoulders sink a little deeper into whatever is holding you right now. The mattress beneath you, the pillow beneath your head, the soft weight of the blanket settling over you like something that has been waiting all day to finally rest. There is nowhere you need to be. There is nothing you need to solve. For the next little while, the only task in front of you is to listen, to drift, and to let your mind wander somewhere very strange and very gentle all at once. Tonight, we are going somewhere you cannot point to on a map, somewhere no telescope can directly photograph, somewhere that may not be a place in the ordinary sense at all, and yet, in a strange way, it might be closer to you than your own reflection. Tonight, we are going to talk about a mirror universe, a version of everything, born from the same beginning as our universe but facing the other way. A universe where matter may be antimatter, where left may be right, where the arrow of time may point in the opposite direction. And yet, to anything living there, if anything could live there, nothing would feel backward at all. It would feel ordinary. It would feel forward. It would feel like home. Picture, for a moment, an ordinary mirror, the kind hanging in a hallway or above a sink, half fogged with steam after a warm shower. You lift your right hand, and the figure in the glass lifts its left. You lean closer, and it leans closer. You blink, and it blinks. Everything is the same, and everything is reversed. Nothing is missing, nothing is broken, nothing is less real in the image than in the world standing before it. It is simply turned around, facing the other direction. Hold that small, familiar image gently in your mind, because tonight that ordinary mirror will become a doorway into one of the strangest ideas in modern cosmology. Before we go further through that doorway, let me say this softly, the way you might mention something in passing rather than announce it. If stories like this help you drift off, if slow journeys through strange scientific ideas help your thoughts unclench at the end of a long day, you might like to subscribe so that future nights like this one can find you again. And if this quiet journey gives you even a small moment of peace, a gentle thumbs up tells this channel that you are out there, somewhere in the dark, listening. That is all. No more asking after this. Now, let the mirror return to your mind. A pane of glass, a reversed hand, a world that looks like ours but turned around. And let us begin. Scientists have a strange and beautiful habit. When they find something true about the universe, they often ask a peculiar question. What happens if we flip it? What happens if we reverse it? What happens if we take the same law and run it backward, just to see whether it still works? It sounds almost playful, like a child turning a toy upside down to see if the wheels still spin. But this playful instinct, this willingness to flip reality over and peer underneath, has led physicists to some of the deepest truths ever discovered. Again and again, nature has revealed that its laws are built with symmetry, balance, reflection, correspondence. A particle has a partner. A force has a conservation rule. An equation has another side. And sometimes when the universe seems to be missing something, physicists discover that the missing half may not be gone at all. It may simply be hidden by the angle from which we are looking. That is the doorway into tonight's idea. What if the universe itself has another half? What if our Big Bang was not simply the beginning of one unfolding story, but the shared spine of two stories opening in opposite directions? What if our universe is only one side of a cosmic mirror, and on the other side, another universe unfolds, made from the mirrored ingredients of our own, with time pointing the other way? Let that settle for a moment. Not as fantasy, not as a movie scene, but as a serious scientific proposal, considered by real physicists, written into real equations, explored because it may help answer some of the most stubborn questions in cosmology. Questions like, why does our visible universe contain so much matter and so little antimatter? What is dark matter? Why does time seem to move in only one direction? And why did the universe begin in such an extraordinarily ordered state? To understand why anyone would even consider a mirror universe, we have to go back gently to the beginning. Not the beginning of the night. Not the beginning of your memories. The beginning of space and time themselves. The moment scientists call the Big Bang. The phrase Big Bang can be misleading because it makes us imagine an explosion in empty space, like a firework bursting outward into a dark sky. But there was no empty sky waiting around the early universe. No room, no container, no outside darkness into which matter suddenly exploded. The Big Bang was not an explosion inside space. It was the beginning of space. It was not an event that happened at a place. It was the moment places began to exist. It was not something that happened at a time. It was the moment time, as we know it, began to unfold. Think of it less like a bomb going off and more like a seed cracking open. A seed does not explode into a garden that already exists around it. It creates the possibility of roots, stem, leaf, flower, and shade. In a similar way, the early universe did not burst into a pre-existing stage. It was the stage, the actors, the light, the distance, the clock, and the first line of the play, all coming into being together. Before that moment, the word before may not mean what we think it means. The way there is no place north of the North Pole, there may be no ordinary before time itself, but here is where the mirror begins to appear. Imagine that first moment, not as the start of a single story, but as the spine of a great book, a book that opens in two directions at once. On one side of the spine, our universe unfolds, space expands, particles form, stars ignite, galaxies gather, planets cool, life emerges. Eventually, after billions of years, you are here, lying still, listening to this sentence in the dark. But on the other side of that same spine, imagine another set of pages opening, another story, another unfolding, a universe connected to ours by the same first moment, but facing the opposite direction. From our point of view, its time would appear reversed. From its own point of view, however, it would not feel reversed at all. It would simply feel like time, forward, natural, obvious, the only direction anything there had ever known. This is one of the most soothing parts of the whole idea. A universe with time running the other way would not feel backward to the beings inside it. If there were minds there, they would not experience broken clocks, unburning candles, or memories of the future. They would remember their past. They would anticipate their future. They would watch causes lead to effects. They would see cups fall and break, not shards rising up to become cups. Their forward would be forward to them, just as your forward is forward to you. Only from our side of the mirror would it look opposite. Imagine two rivers beginning at the top of one mountain ridge. Rain falls at the summit. Some water flows east, down one slope, toward one valley. Some water flows west, down the other slope, toward another valley. If you stand in the eastern valley and look toward the western river, you might say it is flowing away in the opposite direction. But ask the western river whether it is flowing backward. Of course it is not. It is simply flowing downhill. exactly as water should. The mountain ridge is the shared beginning. The two rivers are two arrows of time. Each flows away from the summit. Each moves forward from its own perspective. Neither is wrong. Neither is reverse to itself. They are simply facing different ways. Two rivers, one mountain, both flowing forward. Let that phrase settle into the quiet space behind your eyes. Two rivers, one mountain, both flowing forward. We will return to that image again and again tonight, because it holds the whole idea gently enough for a tired mind to carry. To understand why physicists take this mirror idea seriously, we need to talk softly about symmetry. You already know symmetry, even if you never think about it. A butterfly's wings, a snowflake, a face reflected in still water, your left hand and your right hand, two halves matching, echoing, balancing. Nature seems to love symmetry, but physics loves it even more. At the deepest levels, physicists search for symmetries in the laws that govern particles, forces, space, and time. A symmetry is a transformation that changes the appearance of something while leaving its underlying law unchanged. Turn a perfect circle, and it remains a circle. Reflect a snowflake, and its pattern still holds. Flip an equation in the right way, and it may still describe the same reality. One of the deepest symmetries in physics is called CPT symmetry. The name sounds technical, but the feeling behind it is simple. C stands for charge, P stands for parity, T stands for time. Charge means whether a particle is positive or negative, like the two ends of a battery. Parity means left and right, the difference between an object and its mirror image, like your left hand and your right hand. Time means the direction events unfold, the difference between a candle melting and a candle somehow unmelting. Here is the beautiful part. If you flip all three together, charge, parity, and time, the fundamental laws of physics still appear to work the same way. Matter becomes antimatter. Left becomes right. Forward becomes backward. And yet the equations remain balanced. The physics still holds. The universe, flipped in all three ways at once, is not nonsense. It is a mirror, not broken, not lesser, not impossible, just facing the other direction. This is the seed of the mirror universe idea. What if the universe on the other side of the Big Bang is our CPT mirror? What if everything there is built from antimatter rather than matter? What if left and right are reversed? What if its arrow of time points away from the Big Bang in the opposite direction from ours? Not because it is wrong, but because it is the other half of a perfect symmetry, a reflection of the whole cosmic structure. Let that thought rest beside you. A universe made not as a copy but as a counterpart, not a duplicate but a reflection, not a second Earth, not another you, not a science fiction parallel life in a familiar city, but something far deeper and stranger, a mirrored branch of existence, joined to ours at the beginning of time itself. Now let us talk gently about antimatter. The word often sounds dangerous, as though it belongs in a weapon or a film. But antimatter is not evil matter. It is not magical. It is not unreal. It is simply the counterpart of matter. Every particle you are made of has a partner with certain properties reversed. The electron has the positron. The proton has the antiproton. The neutron has the antineutron. These particles are real. We can create and observe antimatter in laboratories. Antimatter also appears naturally in certain high-energy processes in space. It is not imaginary. It is part of the known universe. But in the universe we can see, antimatter is rare. That rarity is a deep puzzle. According to many of our best ideas about the early universe, matter and antimatter should have been created in almost equal amounts. And when matter meets antimatter, both can annihilate, converting into energy. If the early universe made equal amounts of both, why did anything survive? Why is there matter everywhere? Why are galaxies, stars, planets, and people made of matter rather than a balanced mix that would have mostly destroyed itself? This is one of the old questions. Why is there something instead of almost nothing? Why did matter win? The mirror universe proposal offers a quiet possibility. Maybe matter did not win everywhere. Maybe our side became matter-dominated, and the other side became antimatter-dominated. Maybe the missing antimatter is not missing. Maybe it belongs to the mirror half. Maybe existence balanced itself not by mixing both sides together, but by separating them across the shared beginning. Our universe, matter, one direction of time. Mirror universe, antimatter, opposite direction of time. Two halves, one symmetry. Nothing wasted, nothing missing. Only hidden by the fact that we are standing on one side. There is something strangely comforting in that. The universe may not have lost its other half. It may have placed it where it belongs, on the other side of the mirror. Think of a hallway with a light switch at each end. One switch is up, one switch is down. They seem opposite, but both belong to the same circuit. Both are necessary to the whole arrangement. Matter and antimatter may be like that. Two sides of one deeper structure. We happen to live on the matter side, so matter feels normal. But on the other side, antimatter would feel just as ordinary. An antimatter star would not be strange to an antimatter world. An antimatter body would not feel ghostly to itself. It would be solid, warm, real. It would simply be made from the other kind of particle. The danger appears only when matter and antimatter meet. But if the two halves of the universe never meet, if they are separated not by distance but by the structure of time itself, then each can exist fully, peacefully, completely, without destroying the other. A reflection does not collide with the person standing before the mirror. It simply faces the other way. Now let us turn toward parity, the P in CPT. Parity is the mirror flip, left and right. For a long time, physicists believed nature did not care about left and right. They assumed that any physical process would look just as valid in a mirror as it did outside the mirror. A spinning particle, a decaying atom, a collision, a reaction, reflected, and the laws should not care. But in the 1950s, experiments revealed something startling. Nature does have a slight preference in certain weak nuclear processes. Some particles behave in a way that distinguishes left from right. The mirror is not always perfect if you only flip space. That discovery shocked physics. It showed that the universe is more subtle than an ordinary reflection. A simple mirror flip is not always enough, but when physicists flipped charge and time as well, the symmetry returned. Left-right asymmetry, combined with matter-antimatter reversal and time reversal, restored the deeper balance. This is what CPT symmetry tells us. A single reflection may look imperfect, but three reflections together can reveal a deeper harmony. Think of a tapestry. If you stand very close to it, one thread may seem to wander strangely. It may appear to break the pattern, but if you step back, the wandering thread becomes part of a larger design. What looked like a flaw from 1 inch away becomes balance from across the room. Parity violation was like that. a crack in the simple mirror. But CPT symmetry suggests the crack may belong to a larger reflection. The universe may not be perfectly symmetric in the small way we first expected. It may be symmetric in a deeper, more complete, more beautiful way. Charge, parity, time, all three together. A mirror not made of glass but of the fundamental structure of reality. Now let us move gently toward time itself, because time is the softest and strangest part of this whole story. You feel time constantly. You cannot hold it. You cannot step outside it. You cannot pause it. Yet every part of your life is shaped by it. Morning becomes afternoon. A child becomes an adult. A candle becomes a pool of wax. A cup falls, shatters, and stays shattered. You never see the shards leap upward, rejoin, and become a cup again. You never see smoke return neatly into a flame. You never see spilled water gather itself back into a glass. Why? At the level of individual particles, many laws of physics work almost the same forward and backward. If you filmed two billiard balls colliding on a frictionless table and played the film backward, the reversed collision might still look physically possible. But in the ordinary world, with many particles, many interactions, many possibilities, time has a clear direction. The reason has to do with entropy. Entropy is often described as disorder. A tidy room has low entropy. A messy room has higher entropy. A new deck of cards arranged by suit and number has low entropy. Shuffle it, and entropy increases. There are very few ways for the deck to be perfectly ordered. There are countless ways for it to be messy. So disorder is not mysterious. It is simply more probable. Given enough time, things move from rare arrangements to common arrangements, from order to disorder, from smooth to scattered, from arranged to mixed. That is why a room becomes messy more easily than it becomes clean. That is why heat spreads out. That is why smoke disperses through air. That is why eggs break but do not unbreak. The arrow of time points in the direction entropy increases. The future is the direction in which the universe becomes more shuffled. Let that image settle. A deck of cards, fresh from the box, perfectly ordered, then shuffled, and shuffled again, and shuffled again. The cards do not remember their original order. They simply become one of countless possible messy arrangements. Now imagine the whole universe beginning in a state of extraordinarily low entropy, a cosmic deck of cards arranged with almost impossible precision. Then, from that beginning, the universe begins to shuffle. Stars form, stars die, galaxies collide, heat spreads, light travels. Structures grow and decay. Time moves forward because entropy moves forward. But in the mirror universe proposal, entropy increases away from the Big Bang in both directions. On our side, entropy increases as we move away from the Big Bang in what we call the future. On the other side, entropy also increases as that universe moves away from the Big Bang, but along the opposite branch. So, from our perspective, its time points backward. From its perspective, it points forward. 2 arrows, 1 bow, both flying away from the same origin. 2 rivers, 1 mountain, both flowing forward. This is the heart of the idea. The Big Bang is not the beginning of a single arrow. It may be the place where 2 arrows begin. Our arrow flies one way. The mirror arrow flies the other. Each universe becomes more disordered away from the shared beginning. Each universe experiences that direction as future. Each universe feels normal to itself. Nothing is walking backward. nothing is broken. The reversal is only visible when you try to view both branches from outside, a place no one can actually stand. Now let us introduce the scientists behind one version of this idea, softly, without turning the night into a lecture. In 2018, physicists Latham Boyle, Kieran Finn, and Neil Turok proposed a cosmological model built around CPT symmetry. Their idea suggested that the universe may be symmetric across the Big Bang, our universe on one side, a mirror universe on the other, matter here, antimatter there, time forward here, time forward there too, but in the opposite direction from our point of view. Their model was not invented simply to sound strange. It was an attempt to solve real problems. It offered possible explanations for dark matter. It respected a deep symmetry in physics. It simplified certain assumptions about the early universe, and it suggested that the Big Bang might not be a boundary where physics breaks entirely, but a mirror surface connecting two halves of a larger whole. Sometimes the strangest sounding ideas in physics are not strange because they are complicated. They are strange because they are too simple for our intuition. A mirror universe sounds wild, but mathematically, it may be cleaner than many alternatives. That does not mean it is proven. It is not. Science does not rest on beauty alone. Models must be tested. Predictions must be checked. Data must decide. But beauty matters in physics because elegant ideas often point toward deeper order, not always, but often enough that physicists pay attention. And this idea is elegant, a universe that answers its own missing half, a beginning that opens both ways, a mirror that restores balance. Let yourself sit with that elegance for a moment. No need to judge it, no need to believe it. Just let it exist as a possibility in the quiet. Now, let us bring the idea closer to your own experience. Think of an old-fashioned clock, round face, two hands, ticking softly in a quiet room. Now, hold that clock up to a mirror. In the reflection, the hands seem to move the wrong way, counterclockwise, backward, but the clock itself has not changed. The mechanism is still working. The reflected clock is not broken. It simply appears reversed because of your point of view. If someone lived inside that reflection, if such a thing made sense, they would call that direction normal. That is how time might be in the mirror universe. A reflected clock. Not wrong, not broken, just facing the other way. Now think of an hourglass. Sand falls from the upper chamber into the lower one, grain by grain, steady, unhurried. The direction seems obvious, down. But turn the hourglass over, and the sand falls the other way. Still down, still natural, still obeying gravity. What changed was not the sand's desire to fall. What changed was the orientation of the glass. The mirror universe may be like an hourglass turned the other way. Its sand falls forward in its own direction. Our sand falls forward in ours. Each direction is down to the sand inside it. Each direction is future to the beings living there. Two hourglasses, one symmetry. Two rivers, one mountain, both flowing forward. Have you ever wondered whether the future is something waiting ahead of you or something already written, like the final chapter of a book you have not reached yet? Physics has never fully settled this question. Some physicists imagine time as a block, a complete structure, past, present, and future all existing together, like all the pages of a book already printed between its covers. You experience one page at a time, but the whole book is there. Other thinkers prefer a more intuitive picture, where only the present truly exists, The past has vanished, and the future has not yet been written. A river, not a book. A flame, not a sculpture. The mirror universe idea does not fully decide between these pictures, but it touches them gently. If two timelines can extend from one shared beginning in opposite directions, perhaps time is not as simple as a single stream carrying everything one way. Perhaps time is more like a landscape, a structure with different slopes, different valleys, different directions that all feel like forward from within. Imagine a long hallway already built. You walk through it with a flashlight. The section illuminated by the beam feels like now. The dark behind you feels like past. The dark ahead feels like future, but the hallway itself may already be there. You are not creating the rooms by walking through them. You are revealing them. Or perhaps not. Perhaps the hallway is being built as you walk. Perhaps each step creates the floor ahead. We do not know. And tonight, you do not need to know. The question can remain open. Some mysteries are not meant to be closed before sleep. They are meant to become spacious enough for rest. Now imagine, just for a moment, what the mirror universe might contain. Antimatter stars, antimatter galaxies, antimatter dust, perhaps antimatter planets. If physics there behaves like ours under the full CPT reflection, then stars could still burn. Gravity could still gather matter into galaxies. Chemistry, in some mirrored form, might still arrange atoms into complex structures. Could life exist there? We do not know. Could minds arise? We do not know. Could someone there wonder about us in some impossibly distant, mirrored way? We do not know. But if they existed, they would not think of themselves as reversed. They would not believe they were made of strange matter. They would not feel their clocks moving backward. They would simply be, just as you simply are. A mind inside a universe never feels like it is inside an exotic theory. It feels like a room, a body, a breath, a sky, a memory, a tomorrow. That is one of the most humbling thoughts in all cosmology. Every viewpoint feels central from inside itself. Every direction feels natural from the place where it begins. The mirror universe, if it exists, would not be a distorted copy of us. It would be its own complete reality, complete in itself, whole in itself, needing no permission from our side to be real. A reflection never diminishes the person standing before it. It only adds another image facing the other way. There is a quiet comfort in that. Now let us return to the idea of dark matter. Dark matter is one of the great mysteries of modern astronomy. Galaxies rotate in ways that visible matter alone cannot explain. Clusters of galaxies bend light more strongly than their stars and gas should allow. Large-scale cosmic structure appears shaped by an invisible gravitational scaffolding. Something is there, something with mass, something that does not shine, something that interacts weakly, if at all, with light. We call it dark matter, not because it is dark like a shadow, but because it is hidden, unknown, unseen except through gravity. The CPT mirror model suggests a possible candidate connected to neutrinos. Neutrinos are ghostly particles that barely interact with ordinary matter. Trillions pass through your body every second without you feeling them. Some versions of the model require a heavy, right-handed neutrino, a particle that could behave like dark matter. You do not need the technical details. The important feeling is this: the mirror universe proposal is not only about poetry. It tries to connect real puzzles: matter and antimatter, dark matter, time's arrow, The Big Bang, a single symmetry, tying several loose threads together. That is why the idea is powerful, not because it proves a hidden universe, but because it suggests that some of the universe's missing pieces may belong to one pattern. Think again of the tapestry. Up close, the threads look confusing. Dark matter here, missing antimatter there, entropy somewhere else, the Big Bang as a separate mystery. But from farther away, perhaps the threads form one image, a mirrored cosmos. Two sides, one beginning, balance restored. By reflection. This does not mean the theory is correct. It means the question is worth asking. And sometimes in science, a good question is almost as precious as an answer. A good question tells the mind where to look. It opens a door. It gives shape to the unknown. Tonight's question is simple enough to whisper. What if the universe has a mirror? Now let us bring this down again. Closer to your body, closer to sleep. Your own body is full of symmetry. Left hand, right hand, left eye, right eye. Two lungs, two sides of the face. Not perfect symmetry, but enough that the body feels balanced. When you relax one shoulder, the other often follows. When your breath deepens, both sides of the chest move. Your body knows reflection before your mind names it. Let your left hand soften. Let your right hand soften. Two mirrored shapes, both resting now. Let your left shoulder drop. Let your right shoulder drop. Two sides of one quiet body. Let the muscles around both eyes loosen. Let your jaw unclench. Let your breathing become slow. In and out. In and out. Even here, in this small room, symmetry is present, not as an equation, as comfort, balance, rest. Maybe that is part of why the mirror universe idea feels so strangely soothing. It suggests that reality itself may be balanced in a way we cannot fully see from here, that what seems missing may not be missing, that what seems reversed may only be facing another direction, that the beginning may not be a jagged edge, but a smooth spine. That time may not be a single lonely river, but two rivers flowing from one high place. Two rivers, one mountain, both flowing forward. Let the phrase repeat softly. Two rivers, one mountain, both flowing forward. Now, imagine standing at the top of that mountain, if such a thing were possible. Behind you, or perhaps to one side, our universe flows outward. The first particles, the first atoms, the first stars, the first galaxies, the earth, the oceans, life, history, this room, this breath. On the other side, the mirror universe flows outward too. Its own particles, its own stars, its own dark, its own future. Both rivers begin at the same ridge. Neither can cross back to the summit. Neither can leap into the other valley. And yet both are connected forever by origin. This is a beautiful kind of connection. Connection without contact. Kinship without touch. Two things may never meet and still belong to the same beginning. That thought can be carried gently into your own life. Not every connection requires closeness. Not everything that shaped you remains visible. Not everything important can be reached. Some things belong to you because they are part of your origin, even if you can never return to them. The mirror universe, if it exists, may be like that. Not reachable, not visible, not something we can visit, but perhaps connected to us in the deepest possible way, by the beginning itself. Now, let us wander toward the question of cause. If our universe and its mirror partner both unfold from the Big Bang, what caused that shared beginning? This is one of the oldest questions there is. Why is there something? Why did existence begin? What lit the first candle? Usually, when we see something happen, we ask what came before it. A match before a flame, a push before a falling object, a parent before a child, a cause before an effect. But if time itself begins at the Big Bang, then the question of what came before the Big Bang becomes strange. Before requires time. Cause requires sequence. If there was no earlier time, then asking for an earlier cause may be like asking for a shadow before there is light. The mirror universe proposal offers a different kind of comfort. Maybe the beginning does not need to be pushed from outside. Maybe the total structure balances itself, like a perfectly level seesaw, two equal weights resting on opposite ends. No hand needed to hold it level. The balance is the explanation. Our universe on one side, the mirror universe on the other, equal and opposite, a whole structure with no missing half. This does not solve every mystery. It does not answer why there is a seesaw at all, but it softens the question. It suggests that the beginning may not be an unstable edge requiring an external force. It may be a balanced threshold, a point from which two complete histories unfold. Again, not proven, not final, but beautiful. A candle held up against a very large darkness. Now, let us slow the story. You have traveled a long way tonight, from an ordinary mirror to the beginning of time, from a lifted hand to CPT symmetry, from antimatter to entropy, from a deck of cards to the arrow of time, from two rivers to two universes. And now, the point is not to learn more. The point is to let what you have heard become soft. Let the details blur. Let only the images remain. A mirror, a mountain, two rivers, a deck of cards, a candle, an hourglass, a folded book, a seesaw perfectly balanced, two candles, burning from one spine, a universe and its reflection. Let them gather quietly together, not as a lecture, as a dream. Picture the mirror again. You lift your hand. The reflection answers. Nothing lost, nothing broken. Then picture the folded book. One spine, two stories opening outward. Then picture the two rivers, both flowing away from the same high place. Then picture the hourglass. Turned one way, sand falls. Turned the other, sand falls. Down is always down from inside the glass. Forward is always forward from inside time. Let your body become heavy now. There's nothing left to hold, no equation to solve, no cosmic mirror to prove, no hidden universe to reach. Just images softening, just thoughts loosening, just breath slowing. If a mirrored universe exists, it does not make this universe less real. If another arrow of time points away from the Big Bang in the opposite direction, it does not make your own arrow less meaningful. If antimatter has its own cosmic home, it does not make matter less complete. A reflection never subtracts. It only reveals balance. This moment is still yours. This room is still real. This breath is still happening. This direction of time is the only one you need to follow tonight, and it is leading you gently towards sleep. But before the night becomes fully quiet, let us stay a little longer with one more gentle layer of the mirror, because a mirror does not only reverse, it also preserves. It keeps the shape while changing the orientation. It holds the outline while turning the direction. And that may be the deepest reason this idea feels so strange and so calming at the same time. The mirror universe does not imagine chaos on the other side of the beginning. It imagines order, a different order, a reversed order, but still order. The same equations, the same deep laws, the same careful balance expressed from the other side of the first moment. Think of music for a moment. A melody can be played forward, note after note, rising and falling in a way that feels natural to the ear. But a skilled composer can take that same melody and invert it, reverse it, mirror it, let the notes fall where they once rose, and rise where they once fell. The result is not the same song, exactly, and yet something of the original remains. A hidden kinship, a shared pattern, a resemblance too deep to be coincidence, even if the surface has changed. The mirror universe may be like that. Not the same melody, not a repeated verse, a counter melody, a cosmic harmony playing from the other side of time. Our universe sings one line. The other side, if it exists, sings the mirrored line. And the whole song, the song no single listener could ever hear at once, may require both. There is no need to imagine this too sharply. Let it stay soft. Let it be music rather than machinery. Let it be a slow pair of notes, one here, one there, each answering the other across a silence no signal can cross. Now consider another simple image. A footprint in wet sand. You step forward and the sand keeps the shape of your foot for a while. Heel, arch, toes, a small record of a moment already gone. The footprint is not the step itself, it is the memory of the step, held briefly by the beach. In our universe, time leaves footprints everywhere. Wrinkles on a face, ash after fire, starlight from a dead star, ancient radiation stretched across the sky, fossils in stone, cracks in old wood, dust on a shelf. Everywhere you look, the past has left marks. Entropy is one way of saying that marks accumulate. The world keeps records because disorder keeps increasing. A mirror universe would keep records too, but along its own direction. Its footprints would point away from the shared beginning, just as ours do. Its memories would be behind it, never ahead. Its ruins, if it had ruins, would belong to what it calls the past. Its hopes, if it had hopes, would point toward what it calls the future. This matters because it reminds us not to imagine that other branch as a place of impossible backwardness. No one there would watch ruins turn into buildings unless that process were ordinary under their own physical history. No one there would remember what we call their future. Memory itself depends on entropy. A brain stores information by making physical changes. Those changes belong to the direction of increasing disorder. So memory always points backward along the local arrow of time. Wherever there are minds, if there are minds, memory tells them which direction is past. Anticipation tells them which direction is future, and both feel natural from within. This is why the mirror universe, despite its name, is not a place where people would live backward lives. It is a place where the entire definition of forward is reversed relative to ours. That is subtler and more beautiful. A reversed movie looks strange because we play it inside our time, but a reversed universe would not be a reversed movie to itself. It would be its own original film, playing forward in its own theater, under its own sky. Let that image rest. A theater on one side, a theater on the other. Two films beginning at the same frame, then running in opposite directions. Each audience sees a beginning, a middle, and an end. Neither audience feels anything wrong. Only someone trying to imagine both theaters at once feels the strangeness. And perhaps no one can truly stand in that impossible hallway between them. Perhaps only mathematics can. There is a peaceful humility in that. There are some places the body cannot go. Some places even light cannot go. Some questions only equations can approach, and even then, carefully, quietly, with no promise of arrival. But the imagination can sit nearby, not claiming ownership, not demanding certainty, simply listening at the door. Tonight, that is all we are doing, listening at the door of one of the strangest possibilities physics has offered, a universe beyond the beginning, not before it, not after it, across it, reflected through it, as if the Big Bang were not only a birth, but a mirror surface. Now, let us touch, gently, the idea of the boundary itself. If this mirror universe exists, it is not located beyond the edge of space like another galaxy far away. It is not somewhere you could reach by traveling fast enough or long enough, or with a powerful enough engine. It is not behind a wall at the end of the cosmos. Its separation from us is not a distance. It is a direction in time, a structural separation, a branch of reality that opens the other way from the origin. This is difficult to picture because the human mind understands distance better than it understands time. We know what it means for something to be far away. Another room, another city, another continent, another star. But what does it mean for something to be inaccessible because it lies on the other side of the beginning itself? Not behind you in ordinary time, not ahead of you, not beside you in space, but mirrored through the first moment. The mind reaches for images because images are kinder than abstraction. So imagine again the folded book. The pages on our side cannot simply cross into the pages on the other side without passing through the spine. But the spine is not a place inside the story. It is the structure from which the story opens. Characters on page 1 cannot climb through the paper to reach the mirrored page behind them. They are written into their own side. Their world is complete. The other side may exist, but not as a destination, only as a counterpart. This is why the idea can feel so restful. It is vast, but it does not threaten. It is strange, but it does not intrude. It may be connected to us more deeply than anything else, and yet it cannot knock on your door. It cannot interrupt this room. It cannot pull you out of your life. It simply balances the story from a place beyond ordinary reaching. There is safety in that distance, a mirror that cannot break. Into the room, a reflection that cannot collide with you. A second river that cannot flood your valley because it flows down the other side of the mountain. Let your body understand that. There is no danger in the idea, only space, only symmetry, only a widening of what the word universe might mean. Now, softly, let us gather the scientific heart of the story into one clear shape. The laws of physics appear to respect CPT symmetry. Charge reversed, parity reversed, time reversed. Together, the E. Laws remain the same. Our universe appears to contain far more matter than antimatter. Dark matter remains unknown. The beginning of time remains mysterious. The arrow of time seems tied to entropy, increasing away from the Big Bang. A CPT symmetric cosmology suggests that perhaps the Big Bang has two sides. One side is ours. One side is mirrored. Each side moves away from the beginning. Each side experiences that movement as forward time. The other side may contain the antimatter balance to our matter, and the full structure may be more symmetrical, more economical, and more complete than a universe with only one branch. That is the core. Everything else tonight is the dream surrounding it. The mirror, the rivers, the hourglass, the folded book, the candle, the mountain, the quiet room. And now that the core has been placed gently in the center, you can stop trying to hold the details. The mind does not need to carry the machinery of the universe into sleep. It only needs one or two soft images, a mirror that does not diminish, a river that flows forward, a beginning that opens both ways. Let those be enough. Let the rest fall away. If the theory is wrong, the images are still beautiful. If the theory is right, the images are still only shadows of something far more beautiful than the mind can hold. Either way, you are allowed to rest. Science does not become less wonderful when it is uncertain. It becomes more human. Every theory is a hand extended into the dark. Every equation is a small lamp. Every observation is a footstep. Some lamps go out, some footsteps turn back. Some paths lead nowhere, but some lead to doors no one expected to find. The mirror universe is one of those doors. Maybe it opens, maybe it does not. Tonight, it is enough to know that such a door can be imagined seriously, that the universe is still strange enough for careful people to wonder whether time itself has a reflection. Now, let the pace become slower. Let each sentence arrive with more room around it. Let the silence between the words become part of the story, because silence too has symmetry. Sound rises from it, sound returns to it. A sentence begins, a sentence ends. Breath enters, breath leaves, wakefulness opens, wakefulness closes. Everything tonight has been a kind of opening and closing. The mirror opens. The book opens. The rivers open from the ridge. The eyes close. The body closes the day. Sleep opens from that closing. Even rest has two sides. Let your breath become the simplest mirror now. Inhale, exhale. One movement answered by another. Not identical, not reversed in a frightening way. Balanced, necessary, complete. You would not want only inhaling. You would not want only exhaling. Breath exists because both directions belong. Perhaps the universe too belongs to both directions. Perhaps a cosmos with only one arrow would be like a breath that only enters and never leaves. Perhaps the mirror is not an extra. Perhaps it is the other half of the breath. You do not need to believe that. Just feel how gently the image rests. Our side breathing out from the Big Bang in one direction. The other side breathing out in the other. One beginning. Two exhalations. Two rivers. One mountain. Both flowing forward. Let the words become quieter now. Two rivers. One mountain. Both flowing forward. Again. Two rivers. One mountain. Both flowing forward. And now, even softer. Two rivers. One mountain. Both flowing forward. There is nothing else to prove. Nothing else to reach. Nothing else to hold in the bright, waking part of the mind. If a final image remains, let it be this: a dark, still lake beneath a sky full of stars. You stand on the shore. The water reflects the sky so perfectly that for a moment you cannot tell which stars are above and which are below. You lift your hand. The reflection answers. Above and below. Left and right. Here and there. Not enemies, not contradictions. A single quiet symmetry held by stillness. Then the lake becomes the universe. The sky becomes time. The reflection becomes the other side of the beginning. And you, standing there, no longer need to decide which side is more real. Both are real enough for the image to be peaceful. Both are whole enough for the mind to let go. Now, let the lake fade. Let the stars soften. Let the mirror darken. Let the theory dissolve into rest. The universe can keep its secrets. The equations can wait on their chalkboards. The particles can continue their quiet. Symmetries. The galaxies can turn. The dark matter can hold its hidden shape. The other side, if it exists, can continue forward in its own direction. And you can sleep in yours. This is your side. This is your breath. This is your night. This is your arrow of time, carrying you gently, faithfully, one moment after another, toward rest. Nothing about the mirror asks you to leave yourself. Nothing about the other side makes this side incomplete. You are here, and here is enough. Let the body become heavy again. Let the face soften again. Let the hands rest again. Let the breath slow again. The mirror has done its work. The mountain has done its work. The rivers have done their work. The story has carried you far enough. Now it can set you down. Gently, quietly, exactly where you began. In this room, in this bed, in this one complete moment. Good night. Rest gently. The mirror can keep its secrets until another night.